بسم الله والحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, after praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending the salutation upon the Messenger alayhi salatu wassalam, and upon his family and his companions, and upon all those who follow upon his guidance to the establishment of the last day, to proceed, ya ikhwan. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعاء لا يسمع. Verily, Allah, we seek refuge with you from knowledge that has no benefit, and from a heart that has no fear, and from a soul that has no satisfaction nor contentment, and from a dua that goes unanswered. To proceed, ya ikhwan, فنواصل معكم في هذا اليوم المبارك عونا من الرحمن الرحيم. So we continue in this blessed and noble day of ours, seeking the aid and the assistance of our Lord, the most merciful, the most compassionate. مستفيدين متعلمين من اللغة العربية, as we continue to learn and derive benefit from the science of the Arabic language. ونأخذ علم اللغة العربية من أحاديث النبي محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام. And we're deriving benefit from we're learning the Arabic language in this book here, deriving benefit from the words of the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wassalam. Assalamu alaikum ya Sheikh. The screen is not up. 1 second, inshallah. What about now? جميلة. طيب, فقبل أن نأخذ الدرس الجديد نأخذ بعض الكلمات الجديدة. So before we begin, let's take a small recap of some of the vocabulary words that we had the honor to learn previously. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. طيب, تعلمنا كلمة المحتاج. So we had the honor to learn by Allah the word المحتاج. من يترجمها? Who can translate the word المحتاج? تفضل يا شيخ. Can you translate this word, Sheikh Nakir? Al-Muhtaj. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, please.
Needy. The one that's in need. The one who is in need. Accent. فكلنا محتاجون. All of us are in need, يا إخوان. محتاجون إلى الله. We are in need of Allah. So the muhtaj is the one that's in need. Al-muhtaj. طيب, وأيضا تعلمنا كلمة رحلة. We also learned the word رحلة. من يترجمها? Who can translate the word رحلة? Whose turn يا إخوان؟ Who do we have tonight? Sister Nadira, Sheikh Nakir. طيب, Sister Nadira, ترجمي رحلة. Translate the word رحلة. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. كيف أنت؟
Riding beast.
مرة ثانية. Try it again. رحلة. أخذنا رحلة إلى سعودية. We took this to Saudiya. We took a blank to Saudiya. لا بأس. أعنها يا شيخ نكير. Help her out. شيخ نكير. رحلة. Our sister Nakia says she's listening, but she's driving. You can listen while you're driving. No problem. Don't try to answer while you're driving, may Allah bless you. Rihla is what, Sheikh Nakir?
A trip.
Hey, a trip. A journey. A destination. No, not destination. A trip, a journey. No. أخذنا رحلة إلى اليمن. We took a trip, a رحلة to Yemen. No. طيب. صرف بصره. Who can translate this phrase? صرف بصره. Says Nadira. صرف بصره. ترجمي. Translate. Hey, to see, mashallah, to look, to see. صرف بصره, he looked, to see, he saw, he looked at, he let his sight go. To look at. No, he let his sight go towards. He turned his sight towards. صرف بصره, he looked at. صرف بصره إلى المسجد. He looked at the masjid. No. طيب. ظهر. Sheikh Nakir. ظهر.
Can you write that? I can't see. I can't hear you.
لا بأس. ظهر. ظهر. ترجم. Translate.
Back.
It could be a back, a body part, a back, body part. It can also be what? Sister Nadira. Can also be what? Back of something. Good. Could be the back. Could be the back of something. Good. It can also be أراء ماذا إبل. It can be a ناقة. It can be a riding beast. A riding beast. It could be a camel. It can be a horse. Whatever you're using to transport or to ride. It can be a car. You say أين ظهري? Where's my riding beast? My car. No. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. طيب. It can be a راحلة. No. That's one of our words we learned. I believe, ya ikhwan. راحلة. A riding beast. عفوا يا اخوان. طيب. راحلة. A riding beast. A راحلة can be a camel. A راحلة can be a horse. A راحلة can be a mule. A راحلة can be a car. Whatever you get upon to ride. So a car you don't technically get on, you get in. So that can be argued. However, same concept. A riding beast can be a camel, can be a mule, whatever you use in your ikhwan for transport or for riding. Where's my watch? Yeah, ikhwan is going off. طيب عندنا اليوم فعل جديد. So today we have a new verb. Today we have a new verb. طيب عندنا الآن اكتبوا هذا يا إخوان. Write this verb down. Write this word down. ركب ركبت ركب يركب. عند مضارع يركب. ركب means to ride or to get on board, to embark upon, to ride, to board. You could use it like a plane or a train. To get on. You pick up someone in your car, you say irkab, get in. You're really saying get on, but in a car you're actually getting in. On an airplane, irkab, get on board. Rakiba, to ride, to board, to get on. On a bus, irkab, get on. Let's go. So you would say yarakabu hafila, mashallah. He's riding or he's getting on board the hafila, the bus. Accent. It can also be like figurative. You could say you got to get on these classes, ya akhi. Irakab hadhihi durus. Like that. You're not riding them, but no, get on board. Participate. You can use things like that also. Many of the ulama in Arabic, the same way we in English we may say, you feel me? In slang.
So
now,
is there another word that says Yorkshire al-Zaka?
Okay, Marathon. Say it again.
Yorkshire al-Zaka.
Hey, you could say that. Yeah, you could definitely say that. And I reward you. So there are many ways. Sometimes you can say a word of fusha, but the way you're using it is like a way of slang. Same thing in English. In English, you say to someone, you have $1, yahi, you have $5, and then a brother says, I'm broke. That's not slang. Those words are not slang. The way he's using it is slang. Like that. Same thing in Arabic. Sometimes you can use a word of fusha, but the way you're using it the way the people of the slang use it. Same thing in Arabic. And then you have a word that can be used, but the sheikh is using it differently. For example, the noble Imam Sheikh Uthaymin, rahimahullah. Al-Sheikh Al-Uthaymin, rahimahullah ta'ala. He says a lot. The word tayyib. But the way he's using it, he doesn't mean like pure here. When the students answer a question, he may say tayyib like that. That's how he's using the word. He uses the word tayyib. Now tayyib means pure or good. It's more than good. It's more like pure. Right? But he's using it like good. But it's more than good in the language. It's usually something that's wholesome or pure. In Allah, طيب لا يحب إلا طيبا. Verily Allah is طيب. He's pure. He only accepts that which is طيب. But the Sheikh is using it. Likewise, Sheikh Muqbil. Ibn Hadeeth Level Two, rahimahullah. He uses the word a lot. Na'am. yes. Now he uses na'am the way we may use as like a filler word. You know filler words, ikhwan? Like a word, it doesn't have a meaning right now when you're using it. You're using it as just like a filler. Sometimes we say, I do that a lot. Or matha. This matha is not like what. No, it's just a filler word. While you're thinking of your next word, the sheikh would say a lot, na'am. He says this a lot. You go to his audios, and he will say, Qala Allahu Ta'ala, na'am. So he's saying yes as like a filler. Or he says the word a lot, madha. What? Here it doesn't have a meaning. It's just a filler word. If the sheikh is thinking of a word, he'll say madha. Or if he makes a fumble, he would say madha. Like myself, when you guys hear me make an error, I say madha, like a filler word. So these are two filler words the sheikh used to use a lot. Na'am and madha as just filler words. They mean yes and what, but he's not using it like that. Like when we say a lot of the beginner students of knowledge, they say ya'ani. They're using it as a filler word a lot of times. Ya'ani has a meaning, but a lot of the brothers, when they use it, they're not using it in that manner. It's just a filler word, like like that. So words can be from fusha. All of these words are from fusha, but the way they're being used here, it can be a filler word, for example. And then sometimes the scholar may just use that word. He may have his own meaning for it. That happens a lot. You know, in Egypt, in Africa, they use the word mashi. Mashi is from fusha. And mashi means walking or proceeding. But how they use tayyib, they may say mashi. Like, good. Meaning like that. Like, okay. But it means walking or proceeding. Or going. You talk to the sheikh in Africa, and he's like, mashi. Like, next point. Let's go ahead. Let's go on. Mashi. Namshi. Let's proceed. So sometimes speakers have different words that they use. Even in the ulama of hadith and al-fiqh, of grammar, a lot of times you find that also. طيب. So now we have our new verb for today. After rakiba, this is our new word. Arukaba. Arukaba means to make someone ride. Arakaba, no. Yurukibu is the mudari'. I want you to write this 25 times, ikhwan. Arakaba yurukibu. To make ride. Not to ride. No, you're making someone ride. طيب. Let's continue, ikhwan. طيب. قال بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today's class will be kind of short, ikhwan, as we started super late. We didn't get back into late, so we delayed into 7:30. Our class is still 7, but today we were just running late. I didn't want to miss the class totally. طيب, Sister Nadira, اقرأي. Read the highlighted portion. اقرأي. Good.
من الحديث.
MashaAllah. So now the next portion is what is benefited from the hadith. Write this down, ya ikhwan. ما يستفاد من الحديث. Now I want you to write that down. هذا جميل جدا من جمال هذا الكتاب. Now this is real eloquent how the Sheikh said it. ما يستفاد من الحديث. طيب, pay attention to the word يستفاد. انتبهوا هنا. Pay attention to this word. ما يستفاد من الحديث. طيب, now not what do you benefit from the hadith. No. Not what does he or she benefit from the hadith. No. He said it in the majhul, the mudari' al-majhul, the present tense, the unknown, when the doer is not mentioned. So here you're not going to say what do you benefit from the hadith. No, that's a mistake. He's saying what is benefited from the hadith. Not what did you benefit. No. Not that what did I benefit. No. What is benefited. Two different points. And this is very eloquent to say. You say to your wife, what did you cook? Or the wife says to the husband, what did you cook? Now you say, what was cooked? Two different points. What was cooked? So you're asking two different things. What did you benefit from the hadith is different than what is benefited from the hadith. There could be a benefit that no one gets. So instead of saying, what do you benefit? No. He says it more eloquently. What is benefited? So this is called the mudari' al-majhul. The verb is istafada. The majhul and the mudari' yustafadu. So if you say, for example, ya ikhwan, look at this verb. Write this verb down. This should be Arabic. Istafada. And the mudari' yastafidu. Right. It's a new word also. Istafada, to benefit. Yastafidu, he benefits, or he is benefiting. To benefit. To gain. To benefit. To take an advantage. Right. The majhul, if you change the structure, it becomes not he benefited, something was benefited. So instead of saying yastafidu, you say yustafadu. Alright. So you say مثلا, you say what, sorry, say it in Arabic. ما يستفيد محمد. Well, let's keep it. No door. We make it مستطيلا. ما يستفيد من الدرس. Let's make it easy. Who can translate? ما يستفيد. Say it again. تقربت. Super close. يستفيد. This is the معلوم. And this is the regular known doer. Known verb. ما يستفيد. Try it again.
What did they learn from the lesson?
Oh. How about our sister Nadira? A'inihi. How about check out?
What is this benefit from the lesson?
Close. Super close. Y'all both right there. ما يستفيد من الدرس. What is he benefiting? Y'all are both right there. From the lesson. From the class. What is he benefiting? What is he learning? What did he gain? Not learning. What is he benefiting from the lesson? Alright. Now we're going to change yastafidu to yustafadu. Change the structure. Now it becomes yustafadu. Now this is the majhul. So the meaning is going to change slightly. Yustafadu. What is benefited? So now, not benefiting, benefited. So you say, ma yustafadu min ad-dars. What is benefited? What is gained from the lesson? So that's why they call this the unknown. There's no doer here. What is benefited? No one did anything. What is cooked? There's no doer. What is read? What is prayed? There's no doer. So that's why they call this the unknown. The doer is not mentioned. So the author says, ma yustafadu min ad-dars. It's really real eloquent, ya ikhwan, to use the majhul. A lot in the Quran. When Allah mentions what's going to happen Yawm al-Qiyamah, He mentions it in the majhul. What is benefited from? You say to your wife, she has class. Instead of saying, what did you benefit? That's one question. And then you say, what is benefited from the class? So this is usually from a teacher. The teacher may say, okay, ya ikhwan, ma yustafadu min ad-dars. What is benefited from the class? So he's going to give you what's the benefit of the class. Like if I say to you, do you understand? I say to you, هل أنتم تفهمون? طيب. I say to you, هل أنتم شبه فتحة تفهمون? I say, do you understand? هل أنتم تفهمون? I'm asking you, do you all understand? I'm talking to you. Right? Now, let's change the structure. Now, I'm not going to ask, do you understand? I'm going to ask, is what I'm saying understood? Two different questions. Did you pray? Was the prayer prayed? Now this is eloquent. Say you're in a house of Muslims. It's recommended for the Muslims to pray together, even if they're not in jama'ah. If you're in the jama'ah, then it's obligatory. But say you're at home. أعوذ بالله, you didn't ما ذهبت إلى الجامع, you didn't go to the masjid. فدخلت البيت, you come into the house and you say, هل أنتم صليتم? Have you all prayed? And they say, نعم صلينا, we prayed. Then you come in again and you say, هل صليت الصلاة? Was the prayer made? And then your one son says, I prayed. Or he says, yes, the prayer was prayed. But that doesn't mean everyone prayed. Someone prayed. So it's real eloquent to use the majhul. So هل أنتم تفهمون? Do you understand? Now I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna use the majhul. Now I say هل قولي يفهم يفهم. Is my speech understood? Not do you understand my speech? No. Is my speech understood? Two different meanings. Two different questions. Is my speech understood? And it's real eloquent to speak like this, ya ikhwan. The majhul. Even in English. Is what I'm saying understood? That's different than saying, do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody can understand you, and your speech can still not be understood. But to say, is my speech understood? That's awesome. Even if the people don't understand it, maybe they have some issues, they're not paying attention, they're not focusing, no problem. Sometimes you got to say it 3 or 4 or 5 times. Alhamdulillah. But in Arabic, even in English, it's eloquent to speak in certain manner. And this is called the majhul. The majhul. Sorry. So now let's go to the, what did our sister recite? Ma yustafadu min ad-dars. This is eloquent. Now this usually comes from a teacher. What is benefited from the lesson, from the hadith? He's going to give you what's benefited from the hadith. طيب. Continue our wasili. Sister Nadila, continue. Number 1.
الإسلام دين تعاون ورحمة.
MashaAllah. Ascenti. Number 1. Now memorize this here, Juan. This is a tremendous benefit. Memorize the statement here. The statement is correct. And it's jamilun jiddin. Al-Islam. Islam is Deenu at-ta'awun. Just imagine in our cities, in the East Coast. Just take the East Coast, for example. The East Coast. If we understood this, we only work with our homeboys, our cliques, my man, the one that's close to me. No. Islam says you work with the one that's close to you, not close to you. If it's upon righteousness and al-birr, you work with them. Not, he's not with my sheikh, he's not at my madhab, he doesn't take from my student. No, none of that's from Islam. We made that up. Al-Islamu deenu ta'awun wa rahma. Islam is a way of life of working together. Allahu Akbar. That's a beautiful statement, ya ikhwan. If we only memorize this one point in our city, in America, this one point, it's like we forgot this point. Islam is not a religion of separation. It's not a religion of infiradan, munfaridan, of being by yourself. Yes, at times you stay away from everybody. You seclude yourself. Sometimes you have to turn your phone off. Sometimes you have to turn all your apps, all your communication off and take a moment for you and yourself. Whoever gets offended gets offended. Oh, how can I contact you? You're the Imam of the Masjid. You're this, you're that. No problem. Right now I needed a break. Salamatul qalb la ya'adiluhu shay. Peace of the heart, nothing is equal to it. Every husband, every wife, every imam, every student of knowledge, every sheikh, every child needs a moment. If the people are arguing or discussing something and the wife says, can you give me a moment? Give her a moment. The Prophet used to take moments. If the man says, give me a moment. The child says, Abi, can you give me a moment? Alhamdulillah. The sheikh, you can't always contact the sheikh all day. And most of our questions have no benefit anyway. We're just taking time from the sheikh. No. You're not even writing down your question anyway. How many times they called the masjid with 30 questions just to call right back tomorrow with the same 20 questions? Because the sister wasn't paying attention anyway. The brother wasn't paying attention anyway. Most of the time, we go to class, no one is taking a note. And we want wonder why we got to keep going over the same books over and over. In 10 years, we're still on Usul al-Thalatha. 15 years now, we're still on Usul al-Thalatha. I'm not saying we can't review it. I'm not saying that. It's a tremendous book. But after 10 years, we still have to keep going over and over and over and over. Not review, no, to learn it. Then something is wrong with our tadarruj, our progress. In 10 years, we're still on Alif, Ba, Ta. In 10 years, I remember when Sheikh Hassan al-Banna came to America. I believe we were in Philadelphia. And he said, Antum muhtajuna ila al-mutarjim. He says, you guys from the Sunnah, y'all need someone to translate? Y'all don't study Arabic here? How are you on the Sunnah? As if
It was
Masjid Aqsa in Philly. طيب. And the Sheikh says, Antum muhtajuna ila al-mutarjim. You are in need of a translator? His wife went downstairs to the sisters. And there was a sister there, may Allah reward her, who had the ability to translate. And they asked the Sheikh's daughter some questions, alhamdulillah. A year later, the Sheikh came back to America. And the Sheikh, his wife, said to the sisters, أَنَا زُرْتُكُمْ قَبْلُ وَكُنْتُنَّ أَنْتُنَ مُحْتَاجِينَ وَمُحْتَاجَاتٍ إِلَى مُتَرْجِمٍ أَنْتُمْ لَا تَزَالُونَ مُحْتَاجَاتٌ إِلَى الْمُتَرْجِمِ. So the Sheikh's wife said, the meaning of what she said, I came here before, a year ago, and you needed a translator. This is what the Sheikh's wife said to the sisters there. I came here a year or two ago, and y'all needed a translator. 2 or 1 year later, you still need a translator? So in 10 years, you go back to when our beloved brother Tahir, Hafiz Allah, and Dawud Adib, and those brothers, the older brothers, mashallah, when they first began, Zahid, Abu Salama, all those brothers who orchestrated bringing the ulama to America. When we used to have the telelinks, we don't do that no more, unfortunately. We used to have the ilm line. We got away from that, unfortunately. We don't need the ulama now. When a'udhu billah, everyone's a sheikh, so there's no need to contact the ulama. When a'udhu billah, because everyone's a sheikh now. When a'udhu billah. At any rate, back in those days, when our beloved brother Tahir, he brought the ulama from Medina, or he orchestrated he was a key orchestrator in bringing the ulama from Medina. And our brother Zahid in North New Jersey brought the ulama in New York there, North New Jersey, and alhamdulillah, and Abu Sam and those other brothers there were key orchestrators in bringing the ulama to America. And there are many that I forget at this moment. All of them, they did their job. They bring the ulama. 20 years later, we still need a translator. 20 years later, we still need a translator. Something is not right there, ikhwan. And I'm not like a lot of the brothers and sisters who blame everything on the administration, everything on the Imam, everything on the leadership. No, the Imam takes blame, and the administration takes blame, and the teachers take blame, and the students of knowledge take blame. Yes. At any rate, all of the blame can be on them. They take their blame. The fathers have to take their blame. The mothers have to take their blame. The children have to take their blame. The students of knowledge who don't come to those classes have to take their blame. It's not always the Imam, ya ikhwan. It's not always the administration. And it's not always the leadership. Yes, they take their blame. You teaching the same books over and over and over and over and over. As a teacher, that's your methodology. You take some fault in that. You talk about the same points over and over and over and over and over for 10 years only. That's your methodology. You take some blame in that. Yes. But the students don't come to the classes with no Islamic reason. You take some blame in that. You don't do the research, even in English. I'm not telling no one to study in English. No. But some of the books, until you learn the Arabic, you can get a nice understanding. You can read Ibn Kathir. When we start our tafsir course, you can follow along with Ibn Kathir's translation in English. It's not recommended to study that only. No, you're going to study the Arabic, but until you get to that level, you can follow along. You can read the Bukhari, the translation, until you read the Arabic. No problem. So it's no excuse no more. The ulama are there. Every masjid nowadays has 2 students of knowledge. I'm not saying blind follow the students of knowledge. No, blind following is haram. Love these students of knowledge. They're noble. They're honorable. Alhamdulillah. They're not infallible. لا نرفع شأنهم إلى درجة العلماء. لا. We don't raise their level to the levels of the ulama. No. He's a student of knowledge. So it doesn't amaze us when he's wrong. Of course he's going to be wrong sometimes. He's a talib al-ilmi. He's a seeker of knowledge. So when they come, oh, this brother made an error. No problem. If it is an error, نصححه الخطأ ونحترمه. If it is a mistake, we bring the correction of the mistake and we keep the honor of our beloved brother. So when the people say, you don't warn against Shadeeth Muhammad, that's my brother. I make dua for our beloved brother Shadeeth Muhammad. And I pray that he keeps on teaching. I'm not saying I agree with everything I heard him say. No. But he has some good reminders. And he has some good classes. And he has some good muhadarat. And he has some good advice to the ummah. If he's correct, you take what's correct. If he's wrong, not he doesn't take your opinion. No, if he's wrong, you bring what's correct and you keep the honor of your brother. Our brother say, why you don't refute your brother, Tahir? That's my brother. That's my sheikh. That's my imam. That's my predecessor. He's one of the brothers that encouraged me to seek knowledge. I'm not saying I agree with everything our beloved brother Tahir said. I'm not saying that. But his classes are awesome. He brings some tremendous fawaid. He connects the people with the ulama. One of the kindest brothers I've ever met to this day. I've never heard this brother to this day talk about anyone. Even when you bring those who talk about him. As a person, naturally, if you come to me and say such and such warns against you, naturally, I want to talk about them now. They got dirt on me? Cool. I got dirt on them. Let me expose. No, that's natural. That's a natural point of view. No. At any rate, I've never heard him talk about no one. The brother say, hey, but some of the ulama refute him. That's your principle? That's your principle? If you get refuted, you're thrown under the bus. You learned that from Quran and Sunnah? You sure you learned that from Quran and Sunnah? The Prophet of Allah was refuted. The prophets and messengers that came before him was refuted. Many of the ulama were refuted. Bukhari was refuted. Sheikh Albani was refuted. Sheikh Mubin was refuted. No, you got to look at why. Is it correct? How many times a person has mentioned something against you, you never even said it. That's not your belief. That never came out of my mouth. A brother said, I used to warn against Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, rahimahullah ta'ala. I've never done that. A brother said in Camden, I refuted Usul al-Thalatha. That's the first book I had the honor to memorize. When I lived in Chester, PA, when I was a new Muslim, when Abu Muhammad al-Maghribi, Hafidhullah, was our Imam there in Masjid al-Fajr. It's the first book I memorized. As I didn't know what to memorize, the brother said, hey, let's memorize this book together. I memorized the book with the brothers. I recited the book on Imam Abu Muhammad al-Maghribi. We just got finished 2 years ago teaching Usul al-Thalatha from the explanation of Ibn Abbas, rahimahullah ta'ala, 40 or 30 something classes we taught there. How I refute the book. It's the first book I memorized. How? What I said was, the book is not hadithi. That's not me warning against the book. That's me atakallamu bil haqq. I'm speaking the truth. The book is not a book of hadith. It's not a criticism, ya ikhwan. That's al-bayan. When you clarify. When you speak the truth, you're not always criticizing someone. I said, هذا الكتاب عظيم وهو ليس كتابا حديثيا. I said, this book is tremendous, but it's not a book of hadith. A brother said, how can you say that? I said, what do you mean? How many hadith are in the book? He said, I don't know. I said, exactly. It has 3. I said, don't take my word. لا تأخذوا قولي. لا. Don't take my word. ابحث ادرس واقرأ. Do your research. Study it. Read it. ذكر الإمام رحمه الله تعالى 3 أحاديث من أحاديث النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. The Imam, the author, Shaykh al-Islam rahimahullah, he mentioned 3 hadith. And I'm not telling no one to take my word. Don't say it has 3 hadith because Abu Abdullah said it. No. Go check it. And you're going to see it has 3 hadith. And one of them is weak. So if you wish, it has 2. There's not a criticism of the book. That's the truth. The book has 3 hadith. Some people say Muslim is more authentic than Bukhari. The majority of the ulama say Bukhari is more authentic than Muslim. But there's another opinion, it's a small opinion, that Muslim is more authentic. That's not criticizing Bukhari. You're saying, some scholars say, Muslim is more authentic. Alhamdulillah. In Yemen, they used to say, Sheikh Muqbil and his students, they don't learn the books of al-fiqh. Now that's a criticism. They don't learn the books of fiqh. Sheikh Muqbil would say, because to you, Ibn Kathir is not fiqh. And to you, Al-Bayhaqi is not fiqh. And to you, Al-Bukhari is not fiqh. And to you, Muslim is not fiqh. When the people say books of fiqh, they have a certain books that to them is a book of fiqh. To them, tafsir is not fiqh. Tafsir is fiqh. Fiqh means understanding. So every book of hadith is a book of al-fiqh. The Quran is a book of fiqh. The books of hadith are books of fiqh. So just because someone is criticized, I said, okay, number one, I've never heard none of the ulama criticize my beloved brother Tahir, our beloved Sheikh. Number two, even if it is, you have to look at what the Sheikh is saying. طيب. Number three, is it correct? Sometimes you can hear, and it's easy to go to a Sheikh, and I can say, a Sheikh, I have a sister Nadira, and I have a brother Abu Nakir, Sheikh Nakir, and they talk about the Salafis. What do you say about them, Sheikh? Look how I'm painting the picture. And the Sheikh may say, Uturukhuma, stay away from them. Anyone who you say they talk about the people of the Sunnah, look at your question. But you gotta say, do they really talk about the people of the Sunnah? Not people, not like the brothers may do when you give them advice. Oh, you're talking against the people of the Sunnah. No, not like that, ya ikhwan. I'm talking against you. I'm not talking against the people of the Sunnah. I'm talking against you, ya akhi. What you said was wrong. What you're doing is wrong. So they change it and paint a picture to the people who don't know, the ulama. And then the Shaykh gives an answer based upon what you say. And the Shaykh is not wrong. If you ask someone a question, they give their opinion about something. How is he wrong for giving his opinion? You were wrong for lying to the Shaykh. The Shaykh didn't know you were lying. If he knew you was lying, he would have said something different. He's believing you to be a truthful Muslim. You know you've been deceptive. You know you're lying. The Shaykh doesn't know. So when they paint this evil picture of our Shaykh, Shaykh Rabi' Hafidullah Ta'ala, who was nothing like they depict him to be. He's not a Shaykh that if you don't take his opinion, he's refuting you. No, that's not Islam. He's not a Shaykh that if he warns against someone and you don't agree with him, he also warns against you. No, that's how the people depict him. The Shaykh never said that. Never called to that. And he tells the people, مَنْ يَقُولُ هَذَا أَنَا بَرِيءٌ مِّنْهُمْ وَهُمْ بُرَآءُ مِنِّي. And he says, whoever says that I said that and believe that and teach that, I'm free from them. Maybe one day I'm free from them and they're free from me. One day in class we're going to take the audio of the Shaykh and we're going to play it for the class. It's on YouTube. That's why I hope Allah continues to allow me to learn Arabic. And I hope my brothers and my sisters continue to learn Arabic. So no one can pull the wool over your eyes. A lot of times the people say the Shaykh said, and you're still waiting for 10 years for someone to show you where the Shaykh said that at. Where did he say it? Where did he say it at? You're still waiting. Because a lot of times the Shaykh never said it. Never. You can't go to this masjid, the Shaykh refuted that masjid. That doesn't make the Shaykh refuted the masjid? Yes, where? Oh, trust me, akhi, they got issues over there. What are their issues? Our noble brothers said they got issues. Yeah, akhi, all of your brothers are noble. All of the Muslims are noble. All of the Muslims are honorable. You calling these brothers noble and not those brothers noble? That's not correct either. These are the clear Salafis and they are the not clear Salafis. That term doesn't even exist. Salafiyun sarihun. That's not there. No one can ever come in any time period where the people of knowledge have ever spoke like that. We made that up. Us. Like asking the sisters now, what do you bring to the table, sister? I want to marry you. What do you bring to the table? No, where did the people of the past talk like that? Or the sister asked the brother, what do you bring to the table? I'm not saying you can't question a sister or a brother. No, but there's a way to do it. If I ever sit down with a sister and she says, what do you bring to the table? By Allah, I hope and I hope I grab my belongings and leave. I pray that Allah allows me to be that Muslim. But you can't blame the sister or the brother, because sometimes the ones that we learn from, we're just regurgitating what they said. Not the narrations they said, not the hadith they said, not the ayat that they say. No, the opinions of them. Where you have a sit down with a sister now and you say, who was your ulama? And she quotes a student of knowledge. And most of the time she quotes a student of knowledge who's just a translator. And I'm not talking about no one, ikhwan. That's not my Islam. For example, not every caller is a student of knowledge. Not every most of our translators are not even students of knowledge. And I'm not talking about no one. That's a fact. Most of the students of knowledge, they don't translate. Some of them do. But at any rate, now
I know that era you're talking about. I came through that era. And they had us focused on phonics, like all the Sheikh said.
yeah.
The Sheikh said that, but they never said when he said it. They never presented nothing like. They never presented anything, no tape.
Yeah.
No nothing. It was just a bunch of Sheikh Revere said that, Sheikh Revere said that, Sheikh this, you know, like, I just remember that era well.
Yeah. That's why I hope Allah allows.
People, they opened up the door for many people like that to be, I guess they would call bid out busters or, pseudo watches.
I mean, they're blamed, yeah, Juan, yes. But we can't put the blame all on them. The man who's leading the flock wrong, yes, he's blamed. But after a while, you have to blame the flock also for allowing that person to lead them like that. After a while, the sister can't keep saying, my husband doesn't teach me. My husband doesn't teach me. My husband doesn't teach me. If the husband doesn't teach her, yes, he's blamed. Yes. But not alone. After a while, she has to take some time to learn also. If the brother is married to a sister that has some knowledge, he can't always say, my wife doesn't teach me. My wife doesn't teach me. My wife doesn't teach me. If she has knowledge and she doesn't teach him, yes, she's blamed. Yes. But she's not alone. After a while, you're blamed too. The knowledge is there. Now, if you live in an area, there's no scholars, there's no students of knowledge, there's no books that you can read, that's different. That's different. We have the Quran translated, and we still barely read it. We have Bukhari translated, and we don't read it. We have Muslim, At-Tirmidhi, Abu Dawud, Nasai, Ibn Majah. We have the Muwatta, one of the best books written. If somebody was to come, like Sheikh Mukpo says, and just remove the weak hadith from the Muwatta, that would be one of the best books of hadith. For example, Imam Malik was awesome, rahimahullah. So we have all these books in translations. And I'm not saying read them and focus on them. No. Study Arabic. But until you get to that level, read them in English to benefit. We don't do that. Everyone is waiting. The wife is waiting for the husband. The husband is waiting for the wife. And then we have the nerve to say who's Salafi, who's not Salafi. And you ask the average person, what makes a person an innovator? He doesn't know. What types of innovation are there? He doesn't know. What's the meaning of innovation? He doesn't know. But that same person that say, don't go to that masjid, they're off of it. Now the wives, look at the gatherings of the women. Oh, the wives. Oh, we can't take from that one. Why not, sister? My husband said. Why not? My husband said that. What was his proof? He didn't give me none. Did you ask? No. And that's most of our Islam. The Imam said on the Jumu'ah. That's most of our Islam. Not the Imam said that Allah said. No. The brother said. For example. So the brother say, oh, you don't warn against Hadeeth. You don't warn against Muhammad, Ibn Munir. You don't warn against Tahir. I don't. They're my brothers, ya ikhwan. I love these brothers for the sake of Allah. I make dua for these brothers for the sake of Allah. If they're wrong, if it's something that's wrong, I'm going to say it's wrong. Just because you're my brother, and I hope they do the same for me. If it's something that's wrong, we're not going to say, oh, this is my brother. I love the brother, so his wrong is not wrong. No. I love them for Allah's sake. I love them hubban shar'iyan, with the legislative love. And I want good for my brother. I pray they keep on teaching and writing and translating and educating and giving da'wah. They're calling to the correct methodology. Alhamdulillah. Me and Muhammad Munir, we shared some mashaykh when he was in Yemen. Me and Muhammad Munir, our Shaykh Mufti Hafidullah, when both of us come from the same masjid. When we both used to pray years ago at Masjid Mujahideen there in Philadelphia. We used to pray there together. And then when he came to Yemen before he went to Sardinia, I was there and we shared some of the same mashaykh. Sheikh Ma'mar is both our shaykh. Sheikh Abu Abdurrahman Hamza, Abu Muhammad Abdurrahman Hamza, that's our shaykh. Some of the same Yemen, scholars in Yemen, we used to sit side by side in those classes there. If he's wrong, I'm going to say, no, that's my brother. It's okay that he's wrong. No. But to say you're off of it because you don't warn against him, I don't warn against him. Call me whatever you want to call me. He has some beneficial lessons. He has more classes than I have. Alhamdulillah. At one point I was teaching 6 days a week. He was teaching 7 days a week. Alhamdulillah. I pray and he increases. All of the brothers, ya ikhwan. I make dua for all the brothers. You can't put me against none of the brothers, ya ikhwan. What they're calling to is correct. Even certain masajid, I may not be with them on their refutations and how they refute everyone who's not with them with no proofs and like this. But what they're calling to is correct, meaning the methodology. But what they're saying, that everyone is an innovator. If you don't come here, you're an innovator. No, I don't agree with that. That's not correct. That's not the sunnah. To say the ulama are only 3 or 4, that's not correct. The scholars that they don't mention are more honorable or more of a higher level than the 4 that they mention. And I don't want to mention them out of fear that the people may think I'm pitting the ulama against each other. That's not my Islam. I didn't learn that, ya ikhwan. You love the ulama. But are they in a small bubble? No. Are they 3 only? No. Are they 5 only? No, yeah. Who talks like that? If you have to see what these 3 ulama say only, that doesn't sound like it's your mind doesn't agree. قلبك لا يوافق مع هذا القول. Your heart doesn't agree with that statement. لا يطمئن قلبك بهذا القول. Your heart doesn't find ease with that statement. I can't go to this students of knowledge class because I go to your class? No. Why not, ya akhi? I can't go to this masjid and learn over here on Mondays and then go around the corner on Tuesdays and then go to another city on Thursdays. I can't do that. My wife takes from this student. I can't take from that student because they don't agree. Where is that from, ya ikhwan? My brother said, what masjid do you recommend me to go to? I say, my answer is general. And some people may hate my answer. And that's okay. That's okay. And I don't care about that, ya ikhwan. I'm going to say, صلي في أي مسجد يطمئن قلبك فيه ويمكنك أن تدرس دينك فيه والإمام والمدرس يدعوك إلى الكتاب والسنة على وفق سلف هذه الأمة. I'm going to say my answer. The brother said, what masjid do you recommend me to pray? After asking what city you live in, I said, pray at any masjid that your heart feels at ease. Number 1. Like it who like it, hate it who hate it. Number 2, pray at those masajid that the imam there and the teachers there are calling you to the Quran and the Sunnah with the understanding of the companions. What's my proof? يقول تعالى, Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah, when آمنوا بمثل ما آمنتم به فقد اهتدوا. Allah says, and if they believe the way you believe, O Muhammad, and those who are with you, the companions, then and only then are you guided. Any imam, any student of knowledge that calls to the Quran and Sunnah upon what the companions understood, and that's his methodology, he doesn't call you to himself, he doesn't call you to a certain madhab, he doesn't call you to a certain sheikh, but he calls you to the Quran and Sunnah with the understanding of the Salaf, go to that masjid. Those that their call is Allah said, their call is the Prophet said, their call is the companions understood, go there. And don't give any concern to those who say this and those who say that. No, يوم القيامة عليك أن تجيب على نفسك أولا ثم على من تحت أمرك ثانيا. Because يوم القيامة, you're going to be questioned about yourself firstly, and then upon those who are under you secondly. Allah's not going to say, why did such and such go pray around the corner to you? No. Allah's not going to ask you about that. So we're busy arguing what masjid you go to, what color does the women there wear, or she doesn't cover her face. According to many of the ulama, which is the strongest opinion, النقاب ليس واجبا, that the niqab is not obligatory. I gave this challenge 10 years ago, يا إخوان. ائتي بحديث واحد صريح الذي يبين لنا أن النقاب للنساء واجب. And I'll still make this challenge today. Listen to my challenge. Bring a clear, authentic hadith. Just one. But it has to be clear. Don't bring me nothing vague, that it could be saying this or that. No. Bring a hadith that's sarih, that's absolute, clear, sahih, authentic, in which the Prophet of Allah is clarifying wearing the face veil for the woman is obligatory. I guarantee you can't do that. But I challenge anyone to do that. That's the issue of fiqh. So if the sister takes some of the great companions and some of the great imams and some of the scholars of today's position that covering the face is recommended and not obligatory, you're going to divorce her for that? No, that's a fiqh issue, ya akhi. And you don't have the right to make her wear it if she's not wearing it religiously. Yes, it's better for her to wear it. That's what recommended means. But it's not recommended because you want her to do it. No. Recommended means it has to have some Quran and some Sunnah. Number 1. Yes, every woman should cover their face. It's recommended to. But is she sinful if she doesn't? That's the issue. And then the same brother who would divorce his wife for not wearing the niqab, he doesn't wear no thobe. That same brother who would divorce his wife because she doesn't wear black, he doesn't wear kufi. He wears skinny jeans. He wears a sweatsuit. He wears shorts. And then when he gets to the masjid, he wears an izar. That's not from the sunnah. But this woman who is not doing what's obligatory, but she's doing the sunnah, or she doesn't cover the face, you're going to let her go, or divorce her, or put her on punishment, or threaten to divorce her because she doesn't do that? No, it's a double edge. It's a double standard. We don't hold, I said this all the time, ya ikhwan. We don't hold ourselves to the same standard that we hold others to. I expect you to be perfect, but I'm not perfect. How can I, little old me, Naeem, all the sins I have, all the errors I have, all the fault I have, all the bad decisions I have made, all the wrong turns I've took, all the times I got lost, all the times, and I'm going to look at you to be perfect? How? How can I not forgive you when I ask my Lord to forgive me? How? When I want Allah to forgive me, but I'm going to fault find you? So this is why you can't give me the mistakes of this one and the mistakes of this one and the mistakes of that one. No, I'm not going to read it. No, I'd rather make dua for my brother And I'd rather ask Allah to correct my brother. And I'd rather ask Allah to guide my brother. And I'd rather ask Allah to forgive my brother. Because I want Allah to forgive me. So before I stand up and be the Salafi cop or the Sunni cop to someone else, when I don't pray every Fajr in Jama'ah, when I'm not in the first row of the 5 Salah, every Salah, when I don't teach my women the Quran and Sunnah every day, when I don't teach my children the Quran and Sunnah every day, when sometimes I watch a basketball game, when A'udhu Billah, sometimes I'm not perfect, sometimes, but I'm going to come. One of my biggest fitness to the day is basketball. I hate that I used to love basketball because sometimes it's a distraction upon me. Upon me, yes. So I'm going to come now and I got to be a Salafi cop. I'm going to tell you all the errors that this brother made. No, how about I tell you all the errors that I made? Before I talk about this brother, how about I talk about me? So before I warn against you, if I compare myself to Quran and Sunnah, I'm barely Muslim. May Allah make me a Muslim. I'm barely Muslim. Because I know myself. So I ask Allah to guide me. I ask Allah to guide my family. I ask Allah to guide my children. I ask Allah to guide my community. I ask Allah to guide my masjid. I ask Allah to guide the students that we have the honor to help and to assist. Before I criticize this one and this one and this one and this one, I'm the first one that has more right to be criticized, ya ikhwan. How? The Salaf prayed in congregation. The Salaf gave sadaqah. The Salaf prayed, they fasted Mondays and Thursdays. The Salaf gave da'wah. The Salaf recited Quran. The Salaf memorized Quran. The Salaf studied Quran. How? And we have the nerve to say, this one is not Salafi. Ya akhi, you may not be on the methodology of the companions yourself. When you look at you. And that's most of us, ya ikhwan. But we're so fast to blame and to fault find. No. When did that become a methodology in the city? Where now we're fault finding the ulama. Where the sister says, oh, we can't take from that sheikh. Why? He made a mistake. You sound redundant. He made a mistake, so that means you can't take from him? If that's a principle, and it's not a principle, إذا كان صحيحا, if it was correct, من بقي, who would remain? If every time a sheikh made a mistake, he's no longer a sheikh, who's left? In every generation, one mistake, okay, you can't take from him no more. So who would remain? But they don't do that for their own circle. All the blunders and errors that their circle makes, why they don't do that then? Then they say, oh no, brothers, they are noble brothers. Oh yeah, he's not your noble brother? The same thing that makes him noble should make him noble. He believes in Allah. You're not noble only because you seek knowledge. No. Being a Muslim, you're noble. Being a father, you're noble. Being a wife, you're noble. Being a student of knowledge, yes, you're noble. Yes. Being a Muslim makes you noble. And joining the good, forbidding the evil makes you noble. Studying Arabic makes you noble. Calling to the Sunnah makes you noble. So we call one group noble, we don't call the other group noble. No, ya ikhwan, that sounds like khiyali. That sounds like something of the imagination. So today, ya ikhwan, we didn't really have our Arabic class rather. We got kind of sidetracked, and we apologize for that, and we seek Allah's forgiveness, and we hope that there was some benefit and that which we mentioned. Let's translate this last sentence, inshallah. And then we'll stop for prayer, inshallah. Al-Islam is a deen, a way of life of working together. Allahu Akbar. Working together and of mercy. I pray we memorize this sentence, ya ikhwan. Al-Islamu deenu ta'awun wa rahmah. Teach your wives, you wives teach your husbands, teach your children, ya ikhwan. Al-Islam is a way of life, a methodology of working together. Wa-rahmah. It's from Islam to be merciful. It's from Islam to be kind. It's from Islam to be gentle to the people. We are rough to the people, and we treat the people with the opposite of mercy, but we want mercy shown to us. قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام من لا يرحم لا يرحم. Or كما قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام, the Messenger of Allah said, whoever does not show mercy, mercy is not shown to him, meaning the mercy of Allah. So we'll stop there, ikhwan. Find us up to from Allah. Anything we said that's correct is from Allah. Anything we said is incorrect is from ourselves. And we apologize for getting sidetracked. I blame our Sheikh Nakir. Something Sheikh Nakir said, or Sister Nadira said, one of them sidetracked us today, yeah, ikhwan. Okay.
I was looking at something, these ones, Shafi, right?
No.
Then it says, be handled to man. And then it says, and then it says, be handled as a man, كثيرة تنقضي وسروره يأتيك كالأعجل.
Uh-huh.
And then it says, ملك الأكابر تراه.
No.
رقابه وتراه ريقا في يد الأوبال.
No.
It's throwing me off.
Inshallah, if you could text it to me, I can read it all together, and I'll help you with that translation, inshallah, to the best of my ability. That's no problem. Our brother, he says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. What about the tafsir of the ayat of the hijab and the niqab and Ibn Abbas statement? There are two verses there, Surah An-Nur, Surah Al-Ahzab. You have to look at both of them, mashallah. The companions themselves had two opinions regarding the face veil. It wasn't unanimous. When the verse came down, you go up to Surah Al-Ahzab and Surah An-Nur, and then you look at the hadith that come with it. Hadith Aisha. Now this hadith has some weaknesses collected by Abu Dawood. Hadith Fatima. When the Messenger of Allah, he mentions the meaning of the hadith, when the woman becomes a certain age, everything should be covered except this and this. And he pointing to his face and hands. That hadith is weak, according to Abu Dawood himself. Shaykh Ibn Abbas says it has 3 weaknesses. At any rate, Shaykh Al-Bani rahimahullah ta'ala, he sees this hadith to be Hasan. They differ there. The strongest opinion is that it's weak. But the issue of the niqab, going back to the verse in Surah An-Nur and Surah Al-Ahzab, the companions differ. There are 2 positions basically, Ibn Abbas and those who agree with him, and Ibn Mas'ud and those who agree with him. It wasn't unanimous, ya ikhwan. The companions differ. As I mentioned, give something that's sarih. If the companions differ, you can't use that to be sarih. Their understanding of that, they differ. If it was unanimous amongst the companions, how could the scholars differ after them? If it was unanimous amongst the companions, how could Imam Ahmad wa Shafi wa Malik wa Abu Hanifa? To them, the niqab is not obligatory. If it was unanimous, how could they differ after the companions? They weren't unanimous there. Allah Ta'ala says in the ayat that the woman, she covers her body بِجِلَابِبِهِنَّ إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا, to the end of the ayat, that she covers her body from head to toe, and nothing is apparent from it, and nothing is left open and not left apparent, إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا, except nothing is left without being covered except that which is apparent. So they differ from this portion here, إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا, except that which is apparent. Ibn Abbas says that which is apparent, in his opinion, is the face veil. Ibn Abbas says that which is apparent here is her face and hands. So she covers her whole body from head to toe, إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا, except what's apparent. Ibn Abbas and those companions that agree with him, they said, except her face and hands. There's another opinion. Ibn Mas'ud said, إِلَّا مَا ظَهَرَ مِنْهَا, except that which is apparent, means she covers her whole body from head to toe, and what's apparent is her garment. So those that say it's obligatory, they're using the understanding of Ibn Mas'ud. Those that say that is recommended, they're using the understanding of Ibn Abbas. My point is what? The companions differ here. Ibn Mas'ud had a position that the face veil is obligatory. Ibn Abbas had a position that the face veil is recommended. So what's my point? Al-ulama yakhtalifun. The scholars differ. And this ikhtilaf is mu'tabar. It is dependent upon, like meaning that both sides have an argument. But since the companions differed here, you can't say that they were in unison here. Ibn Mas'ud had a position, Ibn Abbas had a position. So they differ. So you can't use Ibn Mas'ud's tafsir against me, and I can't use Ibn Abbas' tafsir against you. Once again, bring something that's sarih. Bring something that's crystal clear. That the companions were in unison. You can't do that. If that's the case, how could they differ today? No. So that's what I would say there. Wallahu alam. I'll go back to the verses there, ya ikhwan. Look at the tafasir, the meaning of those verses, and you'll see how the companions, they're different there. Shaykh Albani uses the hadith of Ibn Abbas when he was talking to one of his companions, and he says to him, هل أدلك على امرأة من أهل الجنة؟ قال نعم. قال هذه امرأة سوداء. Shaykh Albani brings a strong point. He says there's authentic hadith in Bukhari and Muslim in which Ibn Abbas was talking to one of his companions one day, and he said to him, shall I not show you a woman from the people of the Jannah? His companion said, yes, of course, show us. He said, this dark woman, هذه امرأة سوداء, this dark skinned favorite woman. Many scholars say, how did he know she was dark? They say she didn't have a face, her face wasn't covered. At any rate, now that can be argued because that's not explicit, that's not sarih, that her face wasn't covered. Maybe her hands were uncovered. Maybe he knew who she was. But at any rate, my point is, the ulama that say is recommended, they have a strong argument, and in my humble opinion, they have the strongest opinion, because all they're saying is there's no clear hadith that says it's obligatory. The hadith that the Messenger of Allah says, al-mar'atu awra kulluha, al-hadith, the woman is an awra, all of her. The awra means should be covered. A person may say, here, look, see, all of her face is part of her. Yes. You still go back to the verse. There's no contradiction. If all of her should be covered, then how can Ibn Abbas say that this meant her face and her hands could be open, or that's what's not apparent? At any rate, there's a strong issue, ya ikhwan, and it's not like many people think. Yes, the woman should cover her face, but what's the proof that she's sinful if she doesn't do so? You have to bring something exact, something precise, something sarih, explicit. You can't bring the ikhtilaf of this companion and that companion. No. This companion understood that companion understood that. From the same verse. So we'll stop there, ya ikhwan. We apologize for the itala being lengthy. We blame our beloved sister Nadira and our beloved Sheikh Nakir, as one of them sidetracked me today. I forget which one at this moment. So we didn't really do too much Arabic, and we pray that Allah Ta'ala allows some benefit to be in our speech. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وجزاك الله خيرا فنصبت من الله ونخلت من نفسي. Anything that we said that's correct is from Allah. Anything we said is incorrect is from ourselves. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.